Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I make videos about dyeing, sewing, and upcycling. If that sounds like something you're into, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this marble dyed onesie. I have multiple dyeing tutorials for onesies, and I also have multiple marble dyeing tutorials. So I'll link those at the end of this video, and I'll also put the links down in the description below. So next, let's go over supplies. I've linked all of the supplies I used down in the description below. So first I used a 100% pre-washed cotton onesie. And then I used Procyon dyes, which are also known as tie-dye or fiber-reactive dyes, shaving cream with aloe. I used a mixing bowl to mix up the shaving cream, squeeze bottles for the dye and the shaving cream. I like to use plastic knives as stirrers to mix up the colors and the shaving cream. Gloves to protect my hands from the dye, a bucket to mix up my soda ash solution, soda ash to prep the fabric before putting the tie-dye on it, drop cloths to keep my workspace tidy, and Synthropol or dyer's detergent for washing. So everything is listed down below, and now we're going to mix up the soda ash solution. I've mixed up about 6 cups of water and half a cup of soda ash into this bucket and stirred it until everything was dissolved. And I'm going to add my onesies and let them soak for 20 minutes to prep the fibers for the dye. So the next thing is to mix up my dyes. So I put down my drop cloth and I'm going to mix up my dyes. I'm starting out with eggplant. I'm just going to put a little bit of water in there. And these dyes are all from Dharma Trading. I really like their dyes. The next color I'm using is called Brush Steel, which is a really nice neutral tone. This one is also a Dharma Trading dye. And before I mix anything else up, I'm going to just test them out with the shaving cream to see how they look when they're mixed with the shaving cream. Obviously they're a little bit more pastel colored, and I'm just kind of playing with color. Next I'm going to use Coral. I'm going to mix a little water in just to see how it looks. This is a pretty orangey color, so let's see how it looks with the shaving cream. It's very hot, so I think I'm going to mix in a little bit of ecru just to kind of soften it. Ecru is like pretty yellow, but not like too yellow. And I'll mix it in again just to kind of see if it's changed. Yeah, so it's getting a little bit of a more yellow tone, a little bit more deep color, and then I'm just playing with a little rust brown. I'm not sure if I want to add the rust brown quite yet, so I put it into the shaving cream just to see. But I mean, it doesn't dissolve as well into the shaving cream as well as when you put the water in. So there it is with the water, and let's mix it into the shaving cream now. So that's giving me kind of a really nice muted orangey type of tone, which is good for fall colors. So now I'm mixing up my eggplant with the shaving cream, which I think those look really pretty together. And now I'm going to do just the brush steel. I really encourage you to play with colors like this. I mean, I like to mix up different colors. It's almost like watercolor. So, you know, if you don't like a color that you bought of any sort of tie-dye, you can always mix it with things. If you're interested in learning more about tie-dye, ice dyeing, and shibori dyeing, you can look on my website to see my online classes. I have multiple live online classes and also pre-recorded classes that you can take at any time. So go ahead to Onyx Art Studios and check it out, and be sure to sign up for my mailing list so you never miss a new date. So let's put my shaving cream down on the drop cloth here, and I'm going to use my plastic knife to start to come in and swirl it. I'm just doing enough to put the onesie on top of it, so it's a pretty small space. And I'm going to kind of start to swirl in the color that's underneath. It's getting like very pastel-y. And now what I'm going to do is add some shaving cream to my squeeze bottles. It can be a little tricky, so I like to hold the squeeze bottles as flat and perpendicular as possible to the shaving cream can. So you just need a little shaving cream in there to kind of make it a little thicker, so that when you swirl it around with your white shaving cream, it's not totally liquid. So here is the rust color. I'm going to put a little bit in there, and now I'm going to put my shaving cream in the gray. So when I'm putting my color down onto the white shaving cream, I kind of like to be careful and mix it together so that there's parts of white and parts of color, and then mixing up the colors. So I don't want to go in too aggressively with the color, because you can always add more color. So now I'm going to start to kind of swirl it. I'm just kind of seeing how it looks. Can kind of really mix in the dye with the shaving cream in certain parts. Just sort of experimenting and seeing how it looks. So I'm going to add some more of the rust color and a little bit more of the eggplant. I'm just going to get it to a point where I think that there is a nice distribution of color, and I like how the colors are mixing. You can always add a little bit more white on top too if you get too much color. Alright, so here is my onesie, and it's been soaked in soda ash for about 20 minutes, and I'm putting it on top so it's wet, and I'm just going to kind of push it into the shaving cream so that it's really next to that dye, and it's going to start to kind of bleed into the fabric. I'm going to leave it for 15 minutes. So after 15 minutes, I'm going to take it and turn it over, and I'm going to put it to the side, and I'm actually going to mix in some more dye and just a little bit more of that white shaving cream I had in the bowl. So I'm going to put more dye on and just come in and start to swirl it. And I'm just going to add some white, just to see how it looks. Here's a little more rust. Okay, so now I'm going to put it on the back, and I just kind of stick it on there as flat as I can, and I'm going to just tap it down so that it's really next to that dye and the shaving cream. I don't want any bubbles in between the onesie and the shaving cream. So I'll let it sit for another 15 minutes. Here's a nice close-up of all the colors, how they look when they mix together. So after about 15 minutes, I'll take it off and put it in plastic, and then wrap it up for 6 to 8 hours to allow the dye to really sink into the fibers. After it got a chance to batch, I rinsed it with cold until the water ran clear, which can take quite a while. And then I switched it to hot water and washed it with Synthropol, or dyer's detergent. Then I dried it on hot to set the dye. Here it is. You can see it's all done, and it looks really great. I love all the subtle nuances of marble dyeing, and I love the distribution of color. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to go and follow me on all social media platforms at Onyx Art Studios, and check out my website for my online dyeing classes. I've linked my other YouTube tutorials for onesie dyeing and other marble tutorials. So go ahead and check those out too. All right, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next time.